I was eating lunch with my parents. It was a beautiful day. We had the kitchen door wide open, and all of a sudden, Cheech, my 5-pound chihuahua, busts out the door. But I didn't know there was a German Shepherd that wandered onto our property. Now Cheech goes out there, bark, bark, bark! And the German Shepherd looks down, snaps, shakes, and breaks Cheech's back. So I run out there, I shoo the German Shepherd away, and I pick up my dog. The dog that I bought in 6th grade, 10 years ago. And he's just looking at me, not knowing what's going on. He's still conscious, he's still aware, but all he can move are his eyes. So my dad and I, we rushed to the vet's office, which was 30 minutes away. And the whole time I'm sitting there holding him, and he's just looking at me. And I'm petting his head. And I remember the odor that was coming off of him. This was a disaster. It was a horrible scene. So we get to the vet's office, we walk in, and we know what we're going to hear. We go there, and can there anything be done? And the vet said, I can't help you. So the only option was lethal injection. So I sat there, rubbing his little head, telling him he's the best dog. He's the best dog ever in the world. As that plunger was pushed. And it was over. And it felt like my childhood was over at that time too. But that dog, Cheech, taught me a life lesson. Whenever I start to think of maybe my influence isn't that big, or maybe I can't impact the world like I want to, I think of a 5-pound dog that lived for 10 years. He was my family dog, my friend. He was our business mascot. He brought my wife and I together. He tried to protect his family by taking on an opponent that was 20 times his size. And he died tragically and heroically. And thanks to a tattoo, he will always be remembered. Now, shortly after Cheech died, my college dreams also almost died. I was slacking off a little bit. I was going to engineering school my junior year, and during a structures exam, I went blank. We were talking about tensile strength, force, moments. I sat there staring at that paper and went blank. I was the first to finish. I walked out, called Melissa, and said, I need help. And I remember her coming to that bench, and I didn't say a word. She sat down, and I just leaned in. And she said, it's gonna be okay. I had to go back home. I had to go talk to my parents. This was a moment where I was ready to call it quits. I was done with school. I was going to find a new path. The next day, I got the test back, and it said 28%. See, because my dad started out in engineering school, and he dropped out of that and went to business. So maybe this was just my fate. Maybe I wasn't meant to finish engineering school. But my dad always told me, all through high school, he said, you're going to struggle. You're at school to learn how to learn. You need to go through struggle so you prepare yourself for real life. He said, this is just one of those moments. If you buckle down and do it, you'll get through it. And my mom sit there saying, everything you touch turns to gold. Don't let this knock you down. So if you want to go back to engineering, go for it. If you don't, go for it. We're not going to pressure you either way. You're going to make the right decision. I went back to the professor and I asked one question. I said, is it possible? Can I still pass this class? And he said, it's possible. You have to be nearly perfect for the rest of the year, but it's possible. That's all I needed to hear. So I found the smartest person in the whole class. She was a girl named Allie. And I said, I need your help. I'm going to ride your coattails all the way to graduation. Are you willing to take on this load? And she said, sure, bring it. She was ready for the challenge. So we studied together. We did homework together. She taught me how to pass this class. And I did. I was successful. And at the end, at graduation, I joked with that professor. I said, half of my degree should probably go to her. She was deserving of my degree too. But that friendship that was built during that experience wouldn't have occurred if I didn't get that 28%. If I would have passed, or let's say if I would have gotten a C on that test, I would have kept going as I was going. And I never would have asked for Allie's help. So that was a moment where fate brought us together. Allie ended up being a bridesmaid at our wedding. And my wife, Melissa, was a bridesmaid for her. And 10 years after graduation, I remember the phone call that we received. Melissa and I were out to dinner, and we got the call that Allie, now 33, had a brother that was 21. And her brother committed suicide. Why? I didn't understand. I said, why? He was 21, in college, looking at an uncertain future. Got a DUI, lost hope, sitting on college debt, decided to get out of the race. So we had a college student looking at a desperate future, deciding that it wasn't worth it. And I made a decision that day. If I have a story, if I have a message, it's a crime for me not to share it. I need to get out and tell people how to avoid that situation. I'm a dog. And I let the sheep fall prey to the wolf. And this wolf was depression, uncertainty. And another one falls every day. So my mission is to protect at least one person from going down that path.